Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to understand what companies are really saying. And today we're diving into a filing from BLUSKY AI Inc., where a new chief is taking the helm and things are looking interesting. Stick around because we're about to decode what this really means for the company's future and if this appointment is a game changer. Before we jump in, if you love getting the real story behind corporate announcements, make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to connect with other savvy investors and discuss these filings, join our Discord community. We've linked it in the description below. This report is from BLUSKY AI Inc. and it's a current report on Form 8K. Think of an 8K as a way for companies to announce major events that shareholders really need to know about right away. It's not a regular checkup like a quarterly report, but more like a breaking news bulletin from the company. The most important date here is July 22nd, 2025. This is when the main event we're talking about in this report actually happened. So the company is telling us what happened on this day. This is a pretty standard form for announcing big news. It tells us that something significant has occurred that the public and investors need to be aware of, and it's being filed with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, which is like the watchdog for the stock market in America. These are just legal references telling us which rules they're following. It basically means they're reporting a material event as required by law. We don't need to get bogged down in those specific legal sections. So who is BLUSKY AI Inc.? Well, they are incorporated in Nevada and their IRS employee identification number is 3523302128. They appear to be a company focused on AI, which is a pretty hot field right now, but also a very competitive one. Their address is in Murray, Utah. Now they give us a phone number, but we're not going to call them because we're here to decode the documents, not to make small talk. And there's a section to check boxes if they are using this filing for other kinds of communications, like if they're announcing something that started an investment process or trying to get people to buy their stock. However, all those boxes are unchecked, meaning this report is solely for the main news it's announcing. Interestingly, they don't have any of their securities registered to be traded on a stock exchange under a specific section of the law. This usually means they aren't listed on major exchanges like the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ. They're likely trading over the counter or on a smaller market, which can mean less liquidity and potentially more volatility. They are also not marking themselves as an emerging growth company, meaning they don't get to use some of the relaxed reporting rules that smaller, newer companies often get. This suggests they might be a bit more established or have surpassed the threshold where those flexibilities apply. This next part is the heart of this filing. It's about Regulation FD, which stands for Fair Disclosure. Essentially, it means that if a public company tells certain important information to one person, it has to make sure that all investors hear it around the same time. It's all about preventing anyone from getting an unfair advantage. And what did they announce on July 22nd, 2025? They appointed Andrea Hughes as their new Chief AI and Growth Officer. This is a pretty significant hire. A Chief AI and Growth Officer is a pretty senior role. It means this person is responsible for both the company's artificial intelligence strategy and how it plans to grow. It's a combination of technological expertise and business development. They've attached the actual press release as Exhibit 99. Think of this as the source material for the news. What's important here is that they are incorporating this press release by reference. That means the information in the press release is officially part of this report. Now this part is crucial. The press release and therefore this filing contains what are called forward-looking statements. These are statements about what the company expects to happen in the future. They might talk about plans, strategies, or anticipated performance. But here's the catch, as they clearly state, these are not guarantees. They are based on assumptions and predictions, and the reality could be very different. In simple terms, what they hope will happen might not actually happen. This is a standard legal disclaimer to protect the company from being sued if their future predictions don't pan out. It's a reminder that while the appointment sounds promising, we need to look at hard numbers and actual results to see if it truly impacts the company's trajectory. And here we see they're listing the exhibits. The main one is that press release we just talked about from July 22nd, 2025. The other one, Exhibit 104, is the cover page interactive data file. This is actually a very important part of modern SEC filings. It means the document is structured in a way that computers can easily read and process the information. Especially the financial data, it makes analyzing these filings much faster and more efficient, and it's embedded within the inline XBRL document. Finally, we have the signatures. This section is where the company's authorized representatives sign off, confirming that the information in the report is true and accurate to the best of their knowledge. Here we see it signed by Trent D'Ambrosio, who is the Chief Executive Officer. He's signing on July 23rd, 2025, the day after the event. The signature itself is just a digital or scanned version of his name. It shows that the company is formally submitting this report. Now let's talk about the actual substance and what this hire really means. The appointment of a Chief AI and Growth Officer is a clear signal that BLUSKY AI Inc. is doubling down on artificial intelligence as a core driver of its business and is highly focused on expanding its market presence. Andrea Hoos wields this new title, is likely tasked with integrating AI advancements into the company's products or services and devising strategies to capture new customers and markets. However, without seeing any financial tables in this specific filing, it's hard to gauge how this appointment might immediately impact the company's financial health or operational scale. This 8K is purely an announcement of personnel. It doesn't give us the what happened financially part. Typically, we'd be looking for numbers here. For example, we'd want to see if revenue is growing. Are they making more money than last quarter or last year? And what about profitability? Are their AI projects costing more than they're bringing in? Without these figures, the announcement of a new executive, while significant for strategy, remains a forward-looking statement without immediate financial validation within this document. Think of it like this. A team hires a star player, which is exciting, but we don't know if that player will actually score goals and win games until we see them play and look at the team's win-loss record. In this case, Andrea Hoos is the star player, but we need to see future filings and company performance reports to understand her impact. The fact that they aren't listed on a major exchange is a point to consider. Companies that trade over the counter often have less public information available, and their stock can be less liquid. This means it might be harder to buy or sell shares without impacting the price. It also means that the market might not be as efficient in valuing the company compared to those listed on major exchanges. The combined role of Chief AI and Growth Officer is quite telling. It suggests that growth is directly tied to their AI initiatives. They aren't just developing AI technology, they are intending to monetize it and scale the business significantly using it. This is a high-stakes strategy. The AI landscape is incredibly dynamic with rapid advancements and intense competition. Success will depend on effective execution, market fit, and continuously innovating. We don't have direct financial figures here like total revenue or net income to analyze in this particular filing. However, we can infer that the company is in a phase where strategic leadership for both technology and expansion is paramount. If BLUSKY AI Inc. can successfully leverage its AI capabilities and translate them into tangible business growth, this appointment could be a turning point. For investors considering BLUSKY AI Inc., this filing is an indication of strategic direction. The key questions moving forward will be, what are Andrea Hoos' specific plans for AI and growth? What are the company's actual financial results? How are they performing against competitors in the AI space? Are they securing funding or partnerships to support their growth ambitions? The absence of financial tables in this specific 8K means we can't perform our usual Warren Buffett style deep dive into revenue streams, profit margins, or balance sheet strength. But we can certainly appreciate the strategic decision to bring in an executive with a mandate for both AI innovation and market expansion. It tells us that the leadership believes AI is the key to unlocking significant future growth for BLUSKY AI Inc. To summarize, BLUSKY AI Inc. has announced a key leadership hire appointing Andrea Hoos as Chief AI and Growth Officer. This signals a strong focus on leveraging artificial intelligence for business expansion. While this filing doesn't provide financial details, it sets the stage for future performance assessments. Keep an eye on their subsequent reports to see how this strategic move translates into actual results. Alright, that's our breakdown of this BLUSKY AI Inc. filing. What's your take on this executive appointment and what it signals for the company's future? Do you think combining AI leadership with growth strategy is a winning formula? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. And as a reminder, you can join our Discord community via the link in the description to discuss these and other company reports. Thanks for watching. See you next time.